tour. So I have our first tomato plant now producing another flower. And then we've got some herbs growing by the blackberries, which are kind of done. Hopefully they'll produce some more flowers. Potatoes. And then over here where they get a fair amount of shade during the day, I've started some lettuce. This one has lettuce, cilantro, and purple basil. Have some strawberries. I'm rooting some of the blackberries to transfer them elsewhere in the yard. Strawberries and strawberry tower. I think I'll move this to grow bag soon. In this grow bag, we have some carrots in the front, peas that will climb up the chicken wire, and then in the back we have beans. These are bush beans. Blueberry bush with some weeds that I need to get. Peas and nasturtiums. For some reason, most of these peas did not make it. One more blueberry and some more peas and nasturtiums that are not happy. This is the pumpkin plant. It was pretty happy, but then we had our heat wave and it crispified some of the leaves like that. Same thing for the beans. The beans were really happy and climbing and kind of killed the ends. So we'll see what happens, but they're starting to flower, so we should get some beans soon anyways. Okay, and then in front of that, I just started some more pole beans that will climb up this archway. I've got more burgundy bush beans here with a tomato growing in the middle. And then we get to the main part. Over here I've got cucumber with some flowers at the bottom to attract pollinators. I just planted regular green beans, not burgundy ones, turnips, and this is a ginger that hasn't come up yet. Dragon fruit, sweet potato, more sweet potatoes in soil that they are not happy with. And then using a stick and various things, I've got pole beans climbing up, and then sweet potato in the bottom of a big blue bucket. This was the first raised bed that we used really cheap potting mix with, and nothing is happy in it. So it's more or less a lost cause. On the other end of the swing set, we've got honeydew melons climbing. So since they're going vertical, they need support. So I have stockings that the fruits are growing into. Over here where it gets shade a lot of the day, I've got lettuce, miner's lettuce. This is a different soil, so those plants were planted at the same time, but they're not doing well. Most of them are in Miracle-Gro potting mix. This one's in the raised bed soil. The raised bed soil seems like it's mostly shredded bark and nothing seems to like it. This is chard and a couple red cabbages. More lettuce and basil. This is corn, but it's growing terribly. So this corn was planted after the corn in the raised bed in Miracle-Gro in a grow bag, and it's doing much better than the other stuff. Okay, I just planted some more corn, so we'll have succession of corn. Potatoes. In this bag we've got bell peppers. These will be yellow bell peppers when they're ripe. There's 2 plants in there. They kind of came in the same pot. At the base I've got spinach on one side and curly leafed mustard on the other. I've got a determinate patio tomato plant in this one. I had radishes growing here, but I already pulled them, so I'm ready to put something else in there with the tomato. On this side we've got eggplant along with mustard and spinach. I think there's a couple eggplants in here somewhere when we get to the other side. Strawberries. Most of these were runners off of one of the other strawberry plants from earlier this season. Little tiny carrot sprouts. This is my most recent carrots that I started. These are carrots as well. An onion from a kitchen cutting. It's coming up. A little tomato. And carrots in between. So I've got oldest, next oldest, youngest carrots. This cucumber kind of got hit by the heat and has stopped producing. It's also in that Miracle-Gro patio mix, raised bed mix that nothing seems to like, so I'm getting a couple more off of it, but that might be it. We'll see. So here is a tomato that I started from seed. It was in one of the raised beds with soil it wasn't happy with, and when I put it in here it started growing like crazy. There's also 2 zucchini plants in here that are growing nice and big. Okay, we're back here. Let me see under there. There's a couple little eggplants forming underneath. And spinach and mustard. There's more. So I just did this one today, parsnip seeds. These parsnips have sprouted in 5-gallon buckets. These were squash or zucchini that originally I planted in the native soil that were really sad, so I rescued them and put them in Miracle-Gro. This is the first one I rescued. You can see the difference there. Here's another bell pepper. This is a red bell pepper surrounded by nasturtiums. Tomato plants. This is cilantro and chives and a nasturtium back there. Another tomato. This is a Fresno chili pepper. And more nasturtiums. I've got nasturtiums tucked in everywhere. So here's a cucumber. Looks like I need to tie it up now. It's getting bigger faster. When I bought this cucumber, it got bacterial wilt and I thought it was done for. So I took it out and just put it in here to see what happened, and it actually recovered, and now I have a huge cucumber forming off of it, and it's actually accelerating how fast it's growing. Broccoli, there should have been more than one, but I think the heat wave kind of hit it hard. Yellow squash. This is another one I started from seed in the grow bag. They're doing way better than the ones elsewhere. Lavender that I pulled up from elsewhere in the yard is a little tiny seedling like this tall. Another sweet potato. Broccoli. This one's broccoli and spinach. Broccoli and miner's lettuce. And 2 broccoli in 1. This one's kind of gotten eaten. Okay, there's bell pepper seeds in there I just randomly put in. We'll see what happens. These I just rescued from a planter that had a cheaper brand of soil in it. And you can see that the bell pepper, so this is a red bell pepper plant. Look how yellow that is compared to red bell pepper plant that's in Miracle-Gro. So hopefully, since I just put it in there today, it will recover and start producing. Same thing with that tomato. That little tiny tomato and this tomato are the same age. They were actually next to each other, and I pulled those out and put them in Miracle-Gro, and I just rescued this one today. So your soil makes a huge difference. Also poblano ancho pepper and dragon cayenne, rescued from the not so good soil. We have a Japanese eggplant, again rescued from the not so good soil today, along with German thyme, chives, and I just bought this mint today, so that one's a brand new one. But wait, there's more. So here is an attempt to grow corn and squash in the native soil. These squash plants are older than the massive ones in the grow bags. They have not been doing well in the native soil. And the corn is also very hit or miss. I have a couple that are happy and most of them are really small. I don't know why some grow okay and some don't. I also attempted to put sunflowers on each end and that's the only one that made it. This was the original patch in the native soil. I've already harvested the corn. I got at least 1 or 2 cobs off of at least half of them. There were a few that didn't produce any. I've also got zucchini and yellow squash scattered throughout this patch, which have been doing okay. They've been producing, but at the moment there's not much on them. There's one. I've also got green beans around the base. These green beans are kind of sad now that I've seen how they grow in the grow bags. But I have gotten at least 1 good serving size out of them. Over here we've got watermelon. It says sugar baby, so they're going to be pretty small. And nasturtiums. A bare root tree that not sure if anything's going to happen with it. Nothing has happened so far. Some more sunflowers in an old barrel. Cannellini beans in another old barrel. I didn't add any fresh soil, so these probably would look better if I had put Miracle-Gro in there. This is the raised bed I just rescued everything out of. The soil was very, like a lot of wood chips and things in it were growing very slow and stunted. These carrots are way older than the carrots earlier in the video, and they look like that. I had raspberries over here. The heat was really doing a number on them, so I've tried to shade them. This one's coming back. This one, not so much. I don't know, we'll see. So yeah, that's the garden at the moment.